distinctly remember you showing up at times when high-ranking dignitaries would come into the quarters. You would have some attachments, per se, that you would throw in to make those dignitaries do that double take of you sometimes. And I distinctly remember the glasses, which I see you're not wearing today, but did you have anything else that you could share with us that, for one of those times when that dignitary, let's say, I don't know, the premier of whatever country shows up and they go, oh, hey, here's our drummer. And then you make that smile.
Well, I've heard about these. I don't quite. I've heard about that. The glasses didn't last very long. But what you don't know is, I was told or requested to do that before I got down there, but you guys didn't know that, you know.
No.
So I would get a call like sometimes 2 and 3 days before, and they said, "Now don't tell your supervisor." I'm thinking, now are they setting me up or what? Don't tell my super, but do it. And as time went on, and I would always depend on guys like I think his name was Reggie. I can't remember his last name. He was a former tomb guard. So these guys I learned to kind of trust Mr. Fowler at the time, and so I did that. And you guys didn't know, but they requested it, and I did it. The glasses. I can't. I don't know where they are now, but a lot of times I've always managed to have a dental appointment at the time, and I still have the mold. So I would always carry these in my hat, you know. But I remember you because they told me a couple of days. They said, "Hey, this guy, a staff sergeant, he was staff sergeant at the time, I think."
Yep.
And they said, "Gavin," he said, "You got to get him. He's too he needs an enema and blah blah." I said, "Really?" And I felt sorry for you, man. And so you were set up as well. And so I was there long enough to see the tomb guards, come and go. And so this went on and on. You get to know these guys, and so that's how that actually started. I just didn't take it upon myself to say, "Hey, I'm gonna," And I had a few. I heard about the gadgets. I just heard about it, just for the
Uh-huh.
record. But yeah,
Uh-huh.
and so and then Tom, he's seen these before he even started the tomb thing. He's. I think I did. I do this on your audition, Tom, when you actually made it, I believe.
You were gadget free at my audition, I think, but you might have done the glasses. I don't know.
Okay.
It's a blur. It was a long time ago, but I do remember the push up comment, and I remember you being on stage, and yeah, it was. it's a it's actually kind of a sweet moment for us, Miles, where you're just guiding me in.
I'm also thinking that some people thought they were probably my actual dentures, so they didn't know it was a prop at all.
Yeah,
So that
yeah,
could have
just,
been.
hey,
Well, I would admit the first time I saw it, I don't know if I was able to contain my surprise or keep the tomb guard face and just move past it going, what in the heck am I seeing here? And how did they allow him in uniform and on the plaza? I mean, that's the first thing going through your mind is like, oh my God, he's going to be in public like that. So I know that, and the picture I have is a treasured picture, but I would always watch for the reaction of people who'd never seen you or interacted with you before. Like you get some brand new lieutenant that's, one of his first missions, and there's the drummer, and he's got the teeth in, and he's got the glasses going, and you can just see in their mind, like, what? No, but that's how you were able to make life easier for us, because yeah, it is stressful down there, whether you're bugler, drummer, or even the tomb guard. It's easy to allow the stress to build upon you and overwhelm your ability to go out and perform your mission.
yes.
Um, besides the gadgets, I'm gonna ask this, sorry, Major Miles, but besides the gadgets, what advice would you be giving a young percussionist who maybe doesn't know about Army service bands or just the service bands in general, but what would you give them for guidance to maybe think of this as a career?
Preparation. Preparation, because of course you, as a musician, you're trying to make it. You always, and you have to be prepared. Try to be as diverse as you can. And even after you make it into the military, it's still always preparation. You're preparing for something. You know, I think also, I don't know. That's the big word that comes to mind right now. It's just preparation. Make sure do your homework. I mean, kids today, you got it right in your hand. You got your cell phone. You got Google. You don't even have to learn how to be able to spell. I mean, everything is right here. So you can, and I didn't have that. We didn't have that when I came. So talk to people. Make sure because the military is not for everybody, but I think it's a good place to lot of opportunities, especially for musicians and this particular band. So I would say prepare, prepare, prepare. Talk to people.
Okay. Tom, I'm going to ask you the same question. I mean, you were teaching as a professor at a university, and you made the decision because you've got a military family and you wanted to do this. But you get that young musician that comes in front of you that doesn't have that type of a background. What's your advice to them for considering this as a profession?
Miles, the preparation is definitely the key. What we're trying to do, and what you want to do as a musician, you can't Google it. There's only one way there, and that's time in the woodshed, preparing yourself for any audition. As far as a career choice, I think it's pretty clear that from a stability standpoint, it's a solid career choice. You do get to play music day in and day out. Um, it's very much a personal choice. If it's something that you can, you're playing a certain style of music here. You're playing, you're part of the Army culture. It has to suit your ability to kind of mesh with that, and that's what Miles is right. It's not for everyone, and we do try to even during the selection process to make sure that folks, even if they are the best musician, we're trying to hire the best person, the best fit. That and we can't take a metric on everything in an audition. So I think it's important that we do solid interviews with folks when they come. So I think it's important for people within that zone of I guess 18. We rarely hire anyone that young, but in that high 20s, low 30s zone, that they have actually thought about what a career in the Army would look like. That they've spent some time figuring out what matters to them as far as what they want their music, what they want their art and their music and their kind of career to add up to. And if part of that is basically giving a gift to a family every day in Arlington Cemetery and contributing in that manner, if that's important to you, and if you can see yourself doing that, as a percussionist, there's really nothing better. There's so much variety here. There's so many ways that you can contribute. And it's very visceral. Being in the Army band is very visceral. You feel it because it's an action. Being in the cemetery and doing what Miles and I were lucky enough to do for as long as we've done it. You can't help but feel thankful for being, out in nature, playing music for people that they don't even know they need it, but then they hear it and it's exactly what they need every time. And I think that's so powerful. That never really wears off. And I will miss it when I can't do it anymore. I'll always play music, but playing music here, it's such an honor to do. Even when it's really tough. I don't sugarcoat it. Some days it's really hard. Sometimes it's very lonely. You have to make peace with a lot of different things inside you to be a military musician and do the things that we do. And advice is, one day at a time, but prepare yourself. If you want to even be considered to have choices, you need to just be as diverse as possible. And by diverse, we mean having a number of skill sets within music. Our audition it's rigorous, and people will tell you when they come out, they're like, man, that I was challenged on everything I could possibly do. And that's because we want to set you up for success here. If you're selected, then you've got everything it takes to run the gamut of what we need, and your opportunities are endless. So,
wow, that's great advice. I hope that young musicians are able to take a look at this and consider it. I know that you both have mentioned this before, but I want to circle around to this, that, while you're percussionists, you didn't just do what you did on the tomb. You have multiple opportunities within the Army band to do different styles of music. And as Army, you were on numerous different ensembles. Can you name some of them? And because I'm sure that keeps a musician engaged, because you're not just doing one thing all the time. How many different things did you do, Miles?
Give me a minute. Well, one day I remember I'm with the Heralds that morning at the White House, and that same guy, the dignitary we had at the White House, we had a tomb job for him. And then that night, I'm behind a trap set doing you wait for 3 hours, but you only play for like 45 minutes or something. So it could be as much as 3 different ensembles in one day. And some people you can get plussed out, depends on what you're good at. Everybody's not a jazzer, and some people is not as so I think everybody there is capable of playing with two or three some of the same ensembles. Some people are just more in tune of, so you want to try to get everybody an opportunity to do all of that. But you can be in as much as three and four ensembles, not at the same time, of course, but be assigned to them.
Tom, what about you? Same thing?
Yeah, and Miles was great about that. I mean, he nailed it. As a leader, you have to empower your people and put them in different positions so that they can, so that people in the band can see what your folks can do. Um, so yes, I mean, I've been blessed with a career of playing in all the groups in the band, honestly. And I was set up for success by Miles to say, hey, we got, and he would do it for everyone. Everyone would get opportunities to play, because frankly, there's a lot of work that happens during normal times, and folks are on leave, and when you're needed, it's a great chance to do something different. I mean, we don't do as many of those jazz combos as we did when early in my career, and probably during the length of Miles' career. Those don't happen as often, at least for us. I think maybe we have a pop element that maybe handles more of those. And I do miss those times where we would play, jazz quartet at the officers club or at the State Department. And but the variety is still there, playing either with the orchestra or the concert band, or any of the pop elements that we have, the blues, and what now is, that used to be the chorale, now is Downrange, which is more of a rock pop group. And then, of course, the Herald Trumpets. The Herald Trumpets is, there's no small jobs in the Herald Trumpets. It's all big time stuff, and that's another permanent assignment. Miles and his counterpart Ed Aston were in there for many, many years, and now it's myself and Mike Hook, who, of course, knows Miles very well. So. Yeah, the variety is exceptional, but at this point in my career, at almost 20, amazingly enough, I feel more compelled to step away and make sure that I'm providing plenty of opportunities for all the young lions I have in the section, because it's important for their morale, and it's important that I hold my end of the bargain, which was to bring them here and help them grow. I don't want people to come here and just go stagnant, and that happens when we don't continue to challenge them and provide opportunity where they know, hey, he's gonna demand that I'm ready for anything, and that's. I think that my folks know that, and I that's very important to me. That's how I was raised in the band, and that's our job now.
Nice. Well, I got just one more question before we kind of close this out, because we could go on for hours talking about this. I know that when Sergeant Major Miles and I were down there, we didn't have a pandemic. Mission was mission. We were able to do our mission without really any restrictions. We knew it was going to happen. Didn't have to worry about those. But Tom, you've been challenged in the past year with COVID impacting the way you do business at the Army Band. And I was wondering if you could just, kind of tell me what's that been like, what challenges it's now producing for you?
Well, we shut down officially in March, along with the rest of the nation, even the ceremonial band, which I think no one ever thought we would have any time off. The Arlington always continues to keep going in the ceremonial band. The tempo is consistent. But we did shut down. The old guard shut down, and the band shut down. Then I got the call in July saying, hey, prepare yourself and your guys and girls that we are going back into Arlington, and we're going back with masks. So that was a challenge, because you kind of work into the heat. You have that natural progression of spring into summer and your body acclimates. And we were going from basically everyone told to stay at home to we're going back in full uniform in Arlington, doing normal jobs with just a drummer and a bugler, and I think 3 or 4 troops from the old guard in masks. So, not to mention the fact I had 3 new people that had never done a full honor in their life, coming out of basic training, very educated, very qualified, but still there's a training process. So my job was to essentially get us ready for that. The way that we did it was I didn't allow anyone to do more than 1 mission a day. Now that may sound like an easy way to kind of, I don't know what it sounds like. I thought it was the best thing, because I didn't want anyone to go down early on. With a mask, marching in Arlington when it's 90 some odd degrees, I was worried about my new people. So basically everyone was coming in, every day to do one mission, and then we'd check on them. I had to set up a standby system in case, someone went down. So we set up kind of a triage on the phone via text or whatever, so we could make sure we had backups and standbys in case anyone got sick or couldn't make it. And that's been how full honors have gone. That's how they're still going. We're still doing one drummer per job, but now I've extended, and now we're doing at least 2 jobs, so I don't have everyone coming in every day. The weather's changed, etc., and people are more acclimated. But to your point, I mean, from a training standpoint for the band, for the inaugural, we had to divide up the band into kind of subsections, A band, B band, to keep everyone healthy in case one person came up COVID positive. We didn't lose the whole band. So we would do small teams, and then they sort of put it together. You good, Miles?
I'm good. Had the president calling that.
Oh man,
The Queen's calling you again.
Again.
yeah. So essentially, that's what we've been doing. We've been trying to just, I was telling you this, Gavin, before we started, that when you have new people integrating into the band during this time, there's a lot of conversations that are basically like, this is what we're doing now. This isn't what it will be like when we're normal. For drummers, it's kind of the same, but there are some procedural things, there's some execution things that happen when there's a whole band there that are different than when it's just you by yourself. But preparing them, as I said, to go out by themselves has been the biggest challenge, because it usually takes a year for someone to feel comfortable, for me to feel comfortable sending them, out as a really a senior person on a job. And we had to completely forego that because we didn't have enough people to have folks kind of hanging out, waiting to be ready. They had to get ready quickly. So, we just made a training regimen. They saw a lot of jobs. They did a lot where I observed, and then when they were ready, I could step away, and we haven't had any complaints so far. So far, so good. Yeah.
Well, guys, thank you so much again for spending the time to chat with us today about this. I think it's a unique angle that when people see you on the plaza, they don't understand what's going behind it. And I know that plenty of us in just the normal regiment don't understand what the Army Band does on a daily basis and the challenges that you're presented as professionals. So I appreciate you taking the time to talk to me. I know that we'll be seeing you again in November at the reunion, where you'll get a chance to talk to those tomb guards that you've touched for generations, because you guys have really been down there the longest. When you spend 10 plus years down there, you see a lot going on. You see a lot of Sentinels come through the door and have a broader impact maybe than you think you do, just by your seniority, your leadership, and how you present yourselves. So again, thank you. It's been very interesting, and let's try and do this again. Okay.
Thanks.
Appreciate you, Sergeant Major. Thank you.
We'll
Good
see you
seeing you,
later.
Tom.
Appreciate you, Miles. I miss you.
I miss you too, Tom.